Ladies and gentlemen and children of the planet Earth, previously we thanked Ronnie DeRufa for the partial creation of the Dil-Do burger. But in today's dissertation we have to thank Mr. Obama because he has destroyed this once great country, and now I have all this free time on my hands to make these ridiculous videos. Thank you, Mr. Obama. Now, moving past that, we have a dissertation based on the fact that Obama, aka the 44th POTUS, was placed in a position of power by a group of people that is known as the Bilderbergers, because I changed the Bilderberg Foundation name to the Dil-Do burgers so that they wouldn't know that I was talking about them. But basically the Bilderbergers and the Dil-Do burgers are the same thing. Unless you're not getting the information now for 1 month from Fukushima and you're getting the Dil-Do burger, butt end first. Butt end first, butt end first, because the Zionists who control the news media are not giving you any information from Fukushima, which in English interprets into fuck you proper. But moving past that, we're going to discuss some of the pictographs on the reverse of the $1 bill that led me to the understanding of how nuclear energy will be utilized to implement Agenda 21 on the planet Earth in today's world in real time. Because Mr. Obama was placed on this planet, or created in a laboratory. It's a 50-50 type of coin toss type of thing. And he was placed in a position of power to destroy this once great nation. And here's proof. This is one particular pictograph that exists on the reverse of the $1 bill. And this pictograph depicts a sea creature. Let's get the Mr. Obama out of there. This pictograph depicts a sea creature known as a vampire squid that existed all of a sudden in the Cambrian age from one-celled creatures in the ocean. This type of entity emerged, multi-celled, multifaceted, with the ability to see, and a ganglia 10 times more complex than the human ganglia that brings the synapses from the eyes to the brain and creates vision. All of a sudden, in less than a few thousand years, this entity evolved in the ocean, which is theoretically impossible, and in all probability it had some significant amount of help by another race of beings that are far older than even anything we could comprehend, and possibly the movie Stargate SG-1 and the people that are depicted on SG-1 might very well be more correct than you might want to think about. But moving past that, this entity is one of the creatures that are depicted on the reverse of the $1 bill. And this is the same entity swimming through the ocean, and you can see that it certainly looks like a creature that could swim through the oceans. And because it is a creature that swims through the ocean, and once again, this other species of beings that have been on this planet for well over 300 million years might have instituted the genetic process to create these entities in our oceans. And then, if that is the case, and I believe it to be so, then this same entity that created those entities may have placed some of the 3,300 pictographs on the reverse and obverse of the $1 bill, including the Ark of the Covenant, King Solomon's Temple, and this particular pictograph of the eagle, which when turned upside down represents the 44th POTUS. And proof of that is right here, that when you look at the eagle turned in the regular inverted or regular position of a vertical nature. It simply looks like an eagle and that other five-pointed star thing with what is called a glory, but is not actually a glory. And I can prove it's not a glory. In a moment I will do so. But when you invert the eagle and you blow it up, what you have is a depiction of an Indian chief with a war bonnet on his head, and of course the bow and arrows that you see, and underneath the Indian chief is the detonation that is an actual detonation of a nuclear detonation, and this is also provable because of the way a nuclear detonation exists in real life. Now, we're going to go to a picture of a nuclear detonation. This is a nuclear bomb, and how a nuclear bomb is constructed, and this is a picture of a nuclear detonation where the particles are exploded in an outward direction, as opposed to the radiance that radiates over the eye of the pyramid. This is a nuclear detonation. Now, there are other things that must be taken into account, and one of them is the fact that in order to see all of this stuff as it is such, you have to understand pictography. And in this case, the pictography that is represented on the reverse of the $1 bill is that the 44th POTUS, because this is inverted, that the 44th POTUS, because this is inverted, is actually the entity that has been placed on this world to destroy the populace of this world through a nuclear fission type reactor. And proof further of this is that in this video that I am about to show you, called Angels, well, this one is called Obama is just one of many antichrists. And let me explode this up. And this is a video that I made last year. And if you watch this video for the next... This is the book and the page that I would like you to go view. Minute and a half. To the public, and it describes the first 13 evils that are located within the evil seed of death. AKA, these 13 evils are within the next 2 pages. No one else on earth has been able to decipher more than 6 evils. I have found 12 evils that I speak about outright in the beginning, and the 13th evil is in fact the 44th POTUS, represented by more than 16 different pictographs on the back of the $1 bill and the front of the $1 bill, placed there before 1935, because whatever created this $1 bill also prophesied the end of the world. And the end of the world is coming because this man, aka Barack Hussein Obama, is in charge of the world, and he is going to remove or be the POTUS that is in position when the $1 bill is removed from today's society.
Notice the time.
Once the $1 bill is removed from society in today's world, what you are going to have is a godless form of currency, aka the words, "In God we trust one," will no longer appear on any currency in this world. And once you remove God from the equation, people will believe in anything to fill the void. And this is what is going to happen before the end of this person or entity's term. Now, he is also going to be responsible for 2, not 1, 2 nuclear detonations somewhere in this world. Whether they are dirty bombs or whether they are just nuclear detonations by accident, somehow or another, the book in the Bible called the Book of Revelation depicts that there will be 2 major explosions via a great sword from on high, and this man is going to be responsible for both of those nuclear detonations, and whether he takes responsibility for it or not, because he's incapable of taking responsibility for his actions, Barack Hussein Obama is going to be responsible for those nuclear detonations. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you might not think that there is ability to prophesize, and you might not think the ability to prophesize is even possible. But I said that on May 22nd of last year, and in fact, by March of this year, less than 1 year later, more than 2 nuclear catastrophes have occurred only at Fukushima, and we have one unfolding right now at the Fort Calhoun nuclear power plant, because the dry casks that store nuclear fissionable waste are now underwater. And they're not made to be underwater. And at that point, ladies and gentlemen, you have been dildo-burgered by the Obama, and it's time for me to get a bigger camera.